Hello everyone, my name is Anna. This is English Like a Native, and today's English lesson is all about the subject of cooking. That's right, we're getting into the kitchen and we're going to learn some vocabulary. We're also going to learn some British English pronunciation. We're going to be looking at some idioms and we're going to be doing a little quiz about food culture in the UK. So if you are here, please say hello. Tell me where in the world you are and I'll give you a shout out. So already I have wow, so many of you. You must have been waiting for me. I have Douglas, hi. I have Eric, hello, how are you? I have Ali, Nazir or Nasir. I have Galal from Sudan, Eman, hi, how are you? Every lesson you're here. I have Umbreen from Pakistan, hello. I have a Waled from Dubai, lovely. I bet it's nicer weather in Dubai than it is here. I have, how do I pronounce this? Payush from India. I have Abdelatif in Tunisia. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly. Hi, Yuya in Sydney. Is the weather nice there? You might be able to see outside. No, you can't really see, but it's grey and horrible here. Overcast, and I'm wearing my sunglasses to try and encourage the sun to come out because it is summertime and we should have sunshine. So before I start this lesson, which has been fully planned out, I must let you know that this lesson is sponsored by italki. Now, if you're not familiar with italki, italki is a fantastic website that connects students with language teachers all over the world. And when I say language teachers, we're not just talking about English teachers here. We are talking about any language you're trying to learn. You'll be able to find a teacher on italki. Now, I really do believe that learning one-to-one with a person is the most effective route to fluency. Human teachers really are the best way in order to learn, and you'll definitely get the most out of a one-to-one session with a teacher. And if you are a subscriber here at English Like a Native, then I have a special offer for you. If you visit the italki website via the link in the description box below, then you'll get $10 in credit. That basically will buy you a lesson, only once you've bought your first lesson. So you basically buy one, you get one free. So if you are interested, then follow that link, have a few lessons, and let me know how you got on. Okay, so let's get started with the lesson, shall we? We have 87 people here, all wanting to know about cooking. So I have prepared, as I have before, a worksheet, and we're going to cover, I've got quite a lot of stuff to go through here. I'm going to cover lots of vocabulary, and we're going to do this quiz at the end as well. Now, just to let you know, anyone who is kind enough to send a super chat over to donate towards this channel, then you will get a copy of these notes emailed over to you. So if you are interested in donating to the channel and you want to send a super chat, just include your email address, and all the email addresses at the end I will send these notes over to. Also, I've been looking into buying a microphone because obviously some of you tell me that this is irritating. And I can't wear my nice earrings when I'm wearing this mic. So any donations that I receive over the next few sessions towards the channel will go directly towards buying a microphone set up for this particular software. So shall we start? Are you feeling hungry? Are you sitting comfortably? Great. All right, we'll get going. Right, so meals. So the three main meals you'll hear us talk about in the UK, in English even, are breakfast, and notice that I don't say break fast. It's breakfast. It's almost like that A doesn't exist. So we have breakfast. Breakfast is the first meal of the day. So when I wake up in the morning, one of the first things I will eat is breakfast, and I like to have something called muesli. So it's a type of cereal with oats and dried fruit, and I have that with milk. So I have my muesli in the morning for breakfast. What do you have for breakfast? Let's have a look. Fires says, I love cooking. Let's cook spicy sour fish. Oh, thank you. So I've had my first super chat. Kim Thomas, thank you very much. You're always such a kind supporter of this community. Thank you so much for sending that over. I will put that in the saving pot, especially for a microphone for this for these broadcasts. Thank you. But if you want the notes, Kim, just drop me a message. I think you're a patron, aren't you? So if you drop me a message on Patreon, and I'll remember to send the notes over to you. Okay, what do you guys have for breakfast? Let me know. It's funny, says Sardar. I just ordered food. Great. So you can eat while you watch. Muzz says, yes, I'm feeling hungry. What else do we have? Oh, some of you are fasting. I'm sorry if you're fasting and we're talking about food. That's not very polite, is it? I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. You can always watch this lesson later when you've had something to eat and you're not feeling hungry. Okay, so eggs. Mohammed has eggs for breakfast. David also has muesli for breakfast. And breakfast over here is normally accompanied by either a glass of fruit juice, orange juice traditionally, a cup of tea, and you'll notice it's in a normal mug today. My other mug needs cleaning. Tea or coffee. So what else? What else do we have? We have lunch. Lunch is the second meal of the day in a traditional sense. Lunch is the meal that you'll have in the middle of the day. And normally, depending on what time we wake up, we might have lunch around noon or 1 o'clock. Interestingly, if you go to a school in the UK, sometimes they call lunchtime dinner time. Dinner time in a school is still the middle of the day. And they have dinner ladies. They don't have lunch ladies. The people who help, the adults who help to serve the food to the children, to keep the children in order during the lunch break, they are called dinner ladies. Even though dinner is not the meal you have in the middle of the day, it's very confusing. In the north of England, we call lunch dinner, but in southern England, lunch is lunch. So it's a confusing few words there for you. But lunch traditionally is the meal in the middle of the day. If you use the word lunch, you are not going to go wrong. And then to refer to the evening meal, we would say dinner. But sometimes people say tea. I'm having my tea. This is typically quite northern. But if you say it's tea time, people would know it's the same as dinner time. So you have breakfast, lunchtime, dinner time, or tea time. Now, there are some additional meals that you might have during a day. Some people will talk about having brunch. So if you wake up late, or you've decided that you're going to meet someone later in the morning to have a meal, maybe you will skip breakfast. So if you miss a meal, we use the word skip. I skipped breakfast today. You should never skip breakfast. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I don't skip breakfast. So we use skip to talk about missing a meal. So if you're having a mid-morning meal with a friend, it's going to be a big meal, so you decide to skip breakfast. And because it's going to be a big meal around 11 o'clock in the morning, you probably won't eat lunch. So this covers both breakfast and lunch. So we call it brunch. Brunch. And then also, you may hear people having afternoon tea. You'll hear people having afternoon tea. Afternoon tea is a mini meal to keep you going until your evening meal. So perhaps you got up very early, you had breakfast at 7:30, you had lunch at 12 o'clock, an early lunch, and then you're not going to have your evening meal, your dinner, until 8 o'clock. That's a long time to wait. So you might have afternoon tea. Afternoon tea, though, it is traditionally composed of, this means it's made up of, what it consists of. It's traditionally composed of sandwiches, and usually these sandwiches are delicately cut into fingers. That means they are long and thin. Nice little long thin slices of sandwich. And they also come with scones with clotted cream and jam, sweet pastries and cakes. And then of course, a cup of tea. So another meal that you may hear of is supper. Supper. And supper is a late meal. It's what you have after dinner. So if I've had dinner at 6 o'clock and then I'm working quite late after that, which I tend to, I might have something else to eat at 10 o'clock. I know it's naughty to eat late at night, but I tend to. So I have supper. I might just have a little sandwich, or sometimes I have a bowl of cereal at 10 o'clock at night. Very bad of me, I know. But if I'm hungry, I should eat. So there we go. We have breakfast, lunch, dinner or tea, additional meals, brunch, afternoon tea, and supper. So let's see what you guys are saying. Oh, I have 155 of you here watching. If you are here and you're not a subscriber, please do press that subscribe button. I'm actually on the count up to 30,000 subscribers. I'm only a few hundred off. So if you're here and you're not a subscriber, then help me get to the next milestone. Just click the subscribe button and the bell notification button next to subscribe so you don't miss out on future lessons. I'm going live virtually every day, so it's nice to know when I'm live. So click that button and join us. And if you are here, you know how much I like a thumb. Show me your thumb. Let's see if we can get up to 300 thumbs for this one today. If you like food. If you like food, let's give it a thumb. I love food. I would give it as many thumbs as I have. Only 2. Okay, so Amrinda says, dinner and supper are the same. No, they're different. So dinner is your typical evening meal. Your normal evening meal is dinner. Supper is later, and usually in addition to. So you would have dinner and supper. Sometimes you might skip dinner and have a very late meal, so you might call it supper, but supper, I would assume that someone's had dinner if they're having supper. It's an additional meal after dinner. Theos says, I'm supposed to revise for my exam tomorrow, so I'll leave for now. Bye. Well, good luck for your exam and revise well. Mukesh says, I missed your morning class. Can you please send me the link for the same so that I can watch it offline? Yes, any of the classes that I've previously done are available here on the channel. So if you have missed them, all you have to do is click on the channel and click videos, and you'll see all the previous videos that I've done, and you can watch them to your heart's content. Greetings from Italy. Is there a difference between dinner and supper? Yes, like I said, so dinner is your evening meal, maybe 6 o'clock, and supper might be a smaller meal just before you go to bed or very, very late. Okay, let's carry on. I'm eating lunch. Lunch doesn't have an A in it, Haleb. Just be aware of that. Great. Scones. Umbreen says, what are scones? Scones are it's like a bread. It's very thick, but it's sweet, and it has raisins in it, or sultanas. It's delicious. You put cream on it, or butter, and some jam. It's delicious. It's a very nice little snack. All right, let's continue. So we have these meals that we've mentioned. Now, meals are prepared. We make our meals in the kitchen. Kitchen. Just say that for me. Kitchen. So we make our meals in the kitchen, and a kitchen exists in the home. You have a kitchen. This is the kitchen here in my home. And you have a kitchen in a restaurant as well. So the place where food is prepared in a restaurant is the kitchen. And normally customers, diners, would not go into the kitchen in a restaurant. It is only for the kitchen staff. Philippe says, love you, Anna, making my mornings better with your lessons, making me feel closer to the UK than ever. Not than never, but thank you. I'm glad you're with me and I'm glad you're enjoying it. Anna, which is the main and most abundant meal of the day? Well, the main meal, I think, for most people would be dinner. Most people will put more thought and effort into dinner. I know a lot of people in the UK who skip breakfast. Some people can't eat early. They feel sick in the mornings. Some people don't feel it's very important. So I think dinner is the biggest, most important meal for most people in the UK. Not for me though. I think every meal is important. I love breakfast. I can never go a day without having breakfast. In fact, I feel ill if I don't eat breakfast. Okay, some of you are saying you have exams tomorrow. If you do, best of luck. I've got my fingers crossed for you, and hopefully everyone else will wish you luck as well. So a meal, what is a meal? A meal is a plate of food. So a pizza is a meal, pasta is a meal, a sandwich is a meal. So it's a serving of food. Hello, those of you joining us. Martin says you look very intelligent with those glasses. Well, they're sunglasses, so, I mean, do I look cool now? I literally just put them on so that I could encourage the sunshine to come out because it's a horrible grey day in London. All right, let's carry on. So, meals are prepared in the kitchen. You may eat at home or in a restaurant, a cafeteria, which is also known as a caf. There are other names for places you can eat out, like bistro, but these are the main ones. You might eat in a caf, you might have lunch in the caf or breakfast in a caf, a cafeteria. But an evening meal would typically be had in a restaurant. If you decide to have dinner at a restaurant, then you could say, I am eating out, meaning you're eating out of the home. So if we work together and you say, hey, Anna, are you eating at home tonight? Are you cooking a meal tonight? I might say, no. Tonight is a special night. I'm eating out. And that means I'm eating in a restaurant. So special night tonight, I'm eating out. What are you doing? You say, no, I'm eating at home. So to eat out is to eat out of your home. If you're going to buy food from a restaurant and take it home, then you are getting a takeaway. You're getting a takeaway. And takeaway just describes that particular meal that you are taking from a restaurant to your home. So I might say to you, do you know, I can't be bothered to cook tonight. I'm so tired. I think I will just order a takeaway. I'll just get a takeaway. In the UK, takeaways are very popular. We even have apps now, lots of apps on our phones where we can literally just go, I want a burger or a curry or whatever it is we're ordering. And you pay automatically on your phone and it gets delivered to your house. So we love our takeaways. When was the last time you had takeaway? And is takeaway popular in your country? I can't remember the last time I had takeaway because takeaway is a little bit more expensive than cooking at home. It's cheaper to cook at home. And so for me, ordering a takeaway is what I consider to be a luxury. It's something special, a treat. And obviously I have to be careful with money. So I have to decide when is a special occasion to have a takeaway. Maybe if I've done something, if I pass an exam, I might treat myself to a takeaway. So I see takeaway as a treat. Other people use takeaway as a means to live because maybe they don't cook or they're too busy to cook, so they have to have a takeaway. Do you have takeaways in your country? Lots of people talking about my sunglasses. Thank you. I'm glad you like them. Some of you are now hungry. Caddy says we usually eat out. Lovely. Very posh. Sometimes we get takeaway. Sometimes we get takeaway our lunch. So sometimes we take away our lunch. So you get takeaway for lunch. You get takeaway for lunch. Takeaway for dinner. I really like the way you explain stuff. You made English. You made my English improve day to day. You help my English to improve day to day. Thank you very much. You're very welcome. Hi, Anna. I've just come home from school. I'm so late. Oh, Anne-Marie. Well, welcome. I hope you had a good day at school. And wow, we have 200 people watching. That's amazing. If all of you press the thumb button, then that means we'll easily get to our 300 thumbs before the end of this lesson. If you think this lesson would be good for any of your friends, then feel free to share this on social media. And yeah, let's share our love of food. But welcome everyone. If you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. Today is my sister's birthday, so my brother is bringing takeaway. Fantastic. So there you go. You're having takeaway as a special treat because it's a birthday celebration. I enjoy cooking at home, says Louis. Good. I have little time for cooking, unfortunately, but when I do commit to cooking, I enjoy it. I baked a cake recently, first time, and it tasted really nice. So Jesus, is it Jesus? Is that how I pronounce it? Says takeaway versus takeout. I have a feeling that takeout might be American. I think they say, should we order takeout? Do you want takeout tonight? So I think takeaway is more British and takeout is American. I may be wrong, but I think that's the case. Hajer says, I hate cooking. Sometimes I hate cooking too, but only if I feel like I'm too busy. I'm an English teacher, says Periwinkle Blue, and I'm watching. Amazing. Welcome. Feel free to input. Thank you for being here. Callie says USA takeout. We never say takeaway. So there we go. That's the difference. Takeaway British, takeout American. Great. All right. So let's carry on. What else have I written down here? Takeaways can be ordered over the phone, which is typical, and then delivered to your home. So that's what we normally do. Sometimes you can just walk in to a restaurant and say, do you do takeaway? I want to buy something to take away. But most of the time people just phone takeaway or do it on their app. They order on their app and it gets delivered directly to your door. So an idiom around the word meal that you might hear is to make a meal of it. So I might say to you, oh, don't make a meal of it. And to make a meal of something is to spend more time and energy on some task than it warrants, to make something overly complicated. So if I'm telling a story about something that happened and I elaborate, I add details that you don't need to know. And I get very dramatic. I'm like, oh, I was walking down the street. It was dark and cloudy. Then I'm making a meal out of it. Or if you ask me to do something very basic like make a paper aeroplane. If you say, Anna, make a paper aeroplane. And I start doing this and getting more paper and doing lots of things and lots of folds that I don't need to do and drawing on it and colouring it in, adding ribbons, making little stick men out of matchsticks to fly the plane, then you'll be like, Anna, I just asked you to make a paper aeroplane. You don't have to make a meal out of it. Okay, so this is something you might hear as an idiom with the word meal. Hi Mihail, how are you? Glad you could make it. In our culture, we say the shortest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. We say that too. The quickest way to a man's heart is in his stomach. Should we add this? If I add this, is it going to mess up the... it might mess up the formatting. Yeah, let me add this. So we have the quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And this means feed a man and he will love you. Basically, feed a man and he will love you. Okay, I do like that idiom actually. That's quite a good one. And actually, I hear it often. Pedro says, I'm learning to cook a lot because I live alone in London. Welcome, hello in London. Awful weather, isn't it? So I have to cook by myself. I think it's very important because you can choose and control what you're eating. Yes, absolutely right. You have complete control when you cook. You know exactly what's gone into your food and exactly what you're putting in your body. And another thing I hear often, actually I'm going to add this as well. is you, oh no, let's do it here like this. You are what, typo, you are what you eat. How do I explain this? It just means you are or your health even is a reflection of the food you eat. So if you eat good food, you will be healthy. If you eat bad food, then you'll be tired and you'll feel ill. Maybe you'll have bad skin. So you are what you eat. If you eat Mars bars, then you will have rotting teeth from sugar and you will probably be overweight and you may end up with health problems. So you are what you eat. If you eat healthy, you will look healthy and be healthy. Oh gosh, you're coming up with so many good ones that I hadn't even thought of. A minute on the lips, a lifetime on the hips. That's a great one, Callie. This is what I love about this community, is that we all join in to help each other to learn. So obviously these are ones that I had completely forgotten about. A minute on the lips, a lifetime on the hips. It means it only takes a minute. Only takes a minute to eat something, but it will stay longer in your body as fat. Yes, my mum always used to say that to me when I was taking an extra portion of cake. She'd be like, Anna, a minute on the lips, a lifetime on the hips. And I go, I know, Mum, I know. Okay, one of you has asked, what is cooking? Cooking is the process of preparing food, usually by heating. I think I've actually written that down for you somewhere. By the way, if you have just joined and you are interested in getting hold of the notes that I've written for this class, the ones I keep showing up, then I'm giving the notes away for free to anyone who donates and supports this channel. So if you are interested in helping this channel to grow, helping this community, then you're free to add a super chat to this live stream. You can do a super chat with the $sign, which is next to the emoji sign. And all you have to do is send me your email address with the super chat and I will send you the notes as soon as this lesson has finished. All donations to this channel are going towards a new microphone so that I can give you some better sound for these lessons. And then I can also wear my nice earrings and they won't hit on the microphone. So there you go. Let's carry on. Here we go. So, how to cook. So now we're going to talk about some vocabulary that you will use when talking about preparing food. So you may bake. And if you were listening earlier, you would have heard I said, I recently baked a cake. I recently baked a cake. And to bake is to cook something in the oven. So we normally talk about baking cakes or baking bread. So it has to be prepared in the oven and you either bake a cake or you bake bread. There's not many other things you bake. You bake cookies, you bake sweet things. But there's a big difference between bake and roast. And I'll come to that when we get down to roast, so remind me. Hello, if you're just joining me, do remember to press the subscribe button if you're here for the first time and do give me a thumb. Let's see how many thumbs we've got. Should we have a look? Oh, only 124. 124 thumbs, we can do better than that. If you're watching now and you haven't clicked a thumb, click a thumb. You know how much I love a thumb. Let's get it up to 200. Okay, and while you're doing that, while you're thumbing the screen, I will carry on. So we have bake. So I baked a carrot cake recently and it actually tasted great. You might also barbecue. Now, you don't tend to barbecue indoors. Barbecue normally will happen outdoors. And to barbecue, normally you'll see it written BBQ, but we'd always say barbecue. We barbecue using a grill with fire or hot coals. So typically here in the UK, we'll use coal and we'll barbecue as soon as we see any little glimmer of sunshine. You'll see the Brits out in their gardens Actually, even if it's raining, sometimes we are dedicated to getting those barbecues going because we love to eat outdoors and we love a barbecue. Normally on a barbecue, you'll eat things like sausages, burgers. Sometimes we'll do like chicken drumsticks, or if you're a vegetarian like me, you might have a Quorn sausage, a vegetarian sausage. Okie dokie, what are you guys saying? I clicked the thumb twice. Thanks, Kim. Although if you click it twice, does that unlike it? I'm not sure. I don't know. If I click this once and then click it, no, oh. So if you've clicked it once and it's blue, then that's good. If you click it twice and it goes grey again, then you need to click it again. So just click it once. Just one thumb from each of you will make many thumbs. One thumb will make many thumbs. So I should have 217 thumbs by now. Okay, so barbecue. You can barbecue everything. Vegetables also, yes. I used to do a kebab. Was it a kebab? So I used to do skewers of vegetables. So you put vegetables on a long skewer, a long piece of metal. And you'd put like pepper, onion, and then some banana on as well. And then put that on the barbecue and heat it up. It was delicious. Absolutely delicious. Jesus says, barbecue was in my exam, but I didn't know what it meant. Well, now you know. A barbecue. To cook outdoors on coal or fire. Yes, Jamie's saying if you click twice on the thumb, it undoes it. So don't click twice, just once. Just one thumb is enough. And yes, don't click upside down thumbs. I think some people come on just to click upside down thumbs. I think I have some haters who just like to hate on me, but who cares? I don't mind. Let's carry on. So we have boil. I boil things often, and to boil is to cook something in hot, bubbling water. Hot, bubbling water. So when the water is hot and it's bubbling, it is boiling. So you boil the kettle, for example. So if I want a cup of tea, I might say, could you boil the kettle? Has the kettle boiled yet? And you'll say, no, the kettle hasn't boiled, but it is on. And say, oh, good. And I would boil eggs. I would boil vegetables, maybe. Boil some potatoes. Abdi says, why are you vegetarian? Well, that's a conversation for another time. If we have time at the end, I might talk about that, but I'll try and keep on topic for the moment. Otherwise, I just start talking about myself and it gets really boring. Noel says, barbecue with banana. Interesting. Honestly, it's the best thing ever. Have banana with things like onion, garlic, pepper. Even if you roast it, it's amazing. Trust me. Try it. Kim Thomas says, what's the difference between kettle and pitcher? A kettle is electric and heats up water. A pitcher is just a jug. So you can't heat up water in a pitcher. Okay, let's continue. So we boil. You might burn. Sometimes I burn things. And to burn something is to overcook it. So if it sets on fire, you've burnt it. If it goes black and smells and tastes bad, then you've overcooked it. It is burnt. Someone asked earlier, what does cook mean? To cook is just the word we use to prepare food by heating it. Then we have the word fry. You fry in a frying pan. And frying, you could shallow fry or deep fry, and it just means to cook something in hot oil. Normally you would deep fry chips, so potato chips. Like with fish and chips, you would deep fry them. Or you might shallow fry a steak. You might just put that in a frying pan and fry it off. Another common word that we use is the word grill. I like to grill fish. I might grill, cheese on toast. I would put under the grill. And you put it under the grill because the heat comes from above normally. So to grill is to cook with heat radiating downwards. So the grill element is on the top, you put the food underneath, and it cooks from the top through. Obviously, it's different on a barbecue. You would grill food on a barbecue, but the heat is coming from underneath. But normally, a grill is when the heat comes from above. And then for those of you who don't like cooking, you might use the microwave. Now, if you do like a quick meal, this we would refer to as a microwave meal or a ready-made meal. A ready-made meal. I must admit, sometimes I buy ready meals. Sometimes we shorten it to ready meals. They're not very good for you because they're full of chemicals, but I sometimes need to rely on a ready meal, which I just stick in the microwave for 2 minutes, ping, and then I can eat. But also we can call it a microwave meal. A microwave meal. Have you ever eaten pierogi, Anna? This is a Polish meal with dumplings. Oh, I mean, no, I haven't ever had it, but it sounds yummy. Have you ever tried Tom Yum Kung from Thailand? I've eaten a lot of Thai food, but I couldn't tell you what it was I ate. I like it. Generally, I'm not great with spicy food, but yes, I do like Thai food. I like Thai green curry. Okay, let's move on. Eamon says, I've burnt a lot of cakes. Oh dear, you don't want to burn a cake. That's so sad. You want to eat the cake. Okay, let's carry on. We have roast. Roast is to cook in an oven or over a fire. So you might spit roast a pig, a suckling pig you would spit roast, where you roast it over a fire. But most things that you put in the oven, you roast, like we have a roast dinner traditionally in the UK, where we put the main meat into the oven and cook it for a long time. So maybe like roast chicken or roast beef. And you roast the potatoes, so you cook the potatoes in the oven. Now, I did say there is usually confusion between bake, because we bake in the oven, and roast, because we also roast in an oven. So what's the difference? The technical difference is that roasting is cooking in the oven and you cover the food with fat or oil. So you're roasting it if it's covered with fat or oil. You bake it without covering it. It might have fat in the mix. So you might put butter in the mix, but you don't drench it in oil. You don't cover it in oil to bake it. So you bake bread, you bake a cake, but you roast a chicken or you roast potatoes. Okay, I hope that makes sense. To be honest, I didn't know the difference until a few months ago when I was teaching a similar subject. So if you're eating in a posh restaurant, then you might have sauté potatoes, which is something I quite like. You might sauté something. So this is to quickly fry food by placing it in hot oil in a frying pan, to sauté. Sauté. Then we also have steam, where you cook by placing food above boiling water, and then the hot steam will cook it. It's a very healthy thing to do. If you're on a health kick and you're trying to eat healthily, then you might steam your food because there's no oil involved. And then you might also hear stir fry. I eat stir fry once a week. Stir fry is quite a popular way to cook, and it's cooking food by moving it quickly around a pan in hot oil. So you would normally stir fry in a wok, is what I would normally use to stir fry. Pedro says, what's the difference between roast and rotisserie? I'm not 100% sure on the actual definition, but from what I know, off the top of my head, remember this saying, off the top of my head means without checking. Off the top of my head, I think a rotisserie is when you turn it constantly, so it cooks evenly on all sides. Whereas a roast, it just stays still in a hot oven. But a rotisserie, I think the heat element is on one side and it just goes round and round and round. Have you ever eaten Iranian food like kebabs? Yes, I have. Kebabs are very popular in the UK. Broil. Dave says broil. Don't forget broil. I thought about adding broil to the list, but to be honest, I've never heard broil being used in conversation in the UK. I've never heard anyone saying broil, so I decided to leave it off the list. Perhaps if you work as a chef, then you would need that word, but I think generally, for general conversation, many natives wouldn't know what broil is. Okay, how are we doing for time? Oh, 40 minutes in. Let's carry on through. So, moving down, let's have a look at some cooking idioms. Should we move this down? There we go, that's nicer, isn't it? I hate it when it straddles the page like that. To straddle is to step across. So you straddle a horse. So, you might hear the idiom, too many cooks spoil the broth, or too many cooks spoil the soup. Too many cooks spoil the broth. This means if too many people try to control, influence, or work on something, the final product will be worse off. So imagine we are putting on a show. We are going to do a big show in a theatre, and I say, I'll be the director. I'm going to lead. I'll be the director and I'll decide what we do. And then Kim Thomas says, I'll be the director too. And I say, okay, we'll be directors together. And then Thomas says, hi, I can direct a little bit. I'd like to be a director. And I go, okay, come join us, Thomas. And then Kitty says, I want to be a director too. So I don't know why you talk like that. Kitty says, I want to be a director too. And so we have 4 directors. And then the play ends up being dreadful. The show is bad because even though individually we're all very good, together it's hard to work things out because you need one leader. So that's what it means. Too many cooks spoil the broth. And you can refer that to anything. It doesn't have to be about cooking. It could be about absolutely anything. Too many cooks spoil the broth. Let's just choose one person. Okay, so that's a good one to remember. I have heard that quite a few times. So then we have what's cooking? And this just means what's happening. I guess I should add a question mark to that actually to make that sit correctly. So, hey, what's cooking? So I might just come over, something's going on, and go, hey, guys, what's cooking? And you'll say, well, we're busy doing this, this, this. Oh, interesting. Good. And then you might hear cooking on gas. Oh, we're cooking on gas now. This means we're doing very well. Things are working and it's likely to be successful. So I might say to you, hey, how is that project coming on at work? Or how's the new website? How's the new business going? And you say, yes, we're cooking on gas. Means it's working. Or if my car is broken, my motor car is broken and you are trying to fix it and you're achieving good things, you're getting there, you've nearly fixed it. And I'll say, how's it going? Is my car, is it okay? Is it going to be okay? And you'll say, yeah, we're cooking on gas. And I go, oh, good. That means things are working. It's going to be fine. So cooking on gas. Let's have a look at the other ones. What do we have? Somebody's goose is cooked. Oh, so if I say, your goose is cooked, talking to you, your goose is cooked. This means it's over for you. It's finished. So perhaps someone has been doing something they shouldn't have been doing. Perhaps someone is stealing from their company. Someone has been stealing money from their company and they think it's a secret, but someone has found out and they confront you and say, your goose is cooked. That means it's over. You're in trouble. It's finished. Your goose is cooked. Done. Some of you are saying, can you smell what the Rock is cooking? So that's something to do with American wrestling, right? The Rock is an American wrestler, and that's his catchphrase, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't watch American wrestling, to be honest, but I am familiar with that phrase. In Brazil, we say his potatoes are baking for somebody's goose is cooked. Ah, interesting. Interesting. In the US, we say, now you're cooking with gas. Yeah, we can say with gas as well. Now you're cooking with gas. Yeah, I mean, we would completely understand. It kind of translates really well. Great. Okay, shall I see how many thumbs we've got now? Are we cooking on gas with the thumbs over here? Let's have a look. No, we're still not at 200. Come on, guys, give me your thumb. And we have no thumbs down. Thank you. No haters here today. That's nice. But let's get those thumbs up to 200. So if you haven't yet clicked the thumb, click the thumb. All right, so let's see. We had one more, I think, on the list. Oh, yes, we do. Cook the books. If somebody cooks the books, it means they keep false financial records for a company. So if you own a company or you are an accountant for a company and you change all the numbers and keep false records, maybe so you don't have to pay tax, then you are cooking the books. And you have to be very careful because you might get into a lot of trouble. So to cook the books. Good. Kim Thomas says, your thumbs are cooked. They're not cooked yet, not until I get to 200. Umbreen, please can you do a live lesson on birds, animals and plants? Yes, I'll add that to the list. I'll do it now. Birds, animals and plants. I have a very long list of things that I want to do for you. So if I put things on the list, it will happen. It just might not happen for a few weeks. Leslie says, I was watching your Cockney video. Excellent. I hope you were enjoying it. A bit of Cockney accent. Okay, I'm going to stop with the accents. Let's carry on. So let's have a look at the actions of cooking. Okay, so we have a nice long list of vocabulary here. So we have, you might be told in a recipe, and lots of people ask for the pronunciation recipe. A recipe is a set of instructions for how to cook something. So if you don't know how to cook a lasagna, you will follow a recipe. You'll follow a recipe, a set of instructions which tell you how to cook a lasagna. So in your recipe, you might come across words like this. You might be told to add something. This is very easy, to put one ingredient with the others. So you might be asked to add flour to your mix or add a little bit of basil to your mix. Oh, basil is a herb. Did you know that? Basil is a herb, and in America they say basil, and in some places in America they say herb, so they won't say the H. Not all, of course, the accents vary vastly over America, but they usually say basil and herb. But we say basil, and herb. Then you might also hear the instruction to beat. Now, normally, if I say beat it, or I beat him, it means that you hit someone. I was beaten up. I was punched and hit and kicked. I was beaten up. But to beat in cooking is to quickly mix something up. So you'll normally see someone with a mixing bowl and they'll put eggs or things in, usually an egg. You normally beat an egg, and you'll take a whisk or a fork and you'll do this. And this is beating the egg. So you're whisking it hard to mix it up quickly. So to beat an egg, you might hear break, and this is to separate into smaller parts by force. So you might break an egg. You might hear the word to carve. To carve is to cut meat into slices. So you carve the meat. You carve the meat, and you carve the meat with a carving knife. You carve the meat with a carving knife. Bosco Chang says, do you like basil? I hate it. I quite like basil, actually. I like basil with mozzarella and tomatoes and a bit of olive oil. It's absolutely delicious. I think that's an Italian dish, actually. Hi, if you're just joining, hello. Oh, we have 236 people. I think this is the most in one concurrent stream. Thank you, welcome. Make sure you're subscribed and make sure you click the thumb button. And anyone who donates a super chat to this lesson will get these notes sent to them. So if you do super chat, please include your email address. Okay, Camille says, Anna, I like Gordon, as in Gordon Ramsay, Jamie, as in Jamie Oliver, well, and Heston Blumentine. I'm not sure what his surname is. I learn cooking with their shows. Yeah, so they are famous chefs here in the UK. Gordon Ramsay, Jamie Oliver, and Heston Blumentine. I think it's Blumentine. I don't know. Okay, let's carry on. So we have to chop. So to chop up vegetables, to chop an onion. If you chop an onion, it will make you cry. And you will chop on a chopping board with a knife. And that's exactly the noise that it makes. So silly. Okay, so then we also have to combine. To combine is to join or to bring two things together. And then you have to crush. You'd normally hear someone asking you to crush the garlic. And this is to flatten with extreme force. You might have a garlic crusher, which is a little tool. You put the garlic inside and crush out the garlic the other side. But if you don't have a garlic crusher, you would normally put the garlic on the side or on a chopping board and crush it with something. Hit it hard with something so it breaks apart. So to crush. Different to chop. So carrying on. We have to cut. That's quite easy. To separate or divide things. So hopefully you won't cut yourself. Be careful you don't cut your fingers off. You don't want to lose the end of your finger if you use a sharp knife, so be very careful. Grate. Here, it was hard to describe this, but to divide into small parts by rubbing on a serrated surface, usually used with cheese. So basically, a grater, cheese grater, cheese, you rub it up and down and all the little bits then fall through the middle and you gather the grated cheese and then you can sprinkle the cheese on top of things. So grated. So the action is to grate. You grate on a grater and the result is grated cheese. Grated cheese. So you grate on a grater to produce grated cheese. You can grate other things, of course. And the pronunciation is exactly the same as the word hey, great. So slightly different spelling, but same pronunciation. It's great to grate cheese on a grater because I love grated cheese. Okay, that was very cheesy, I'm sorry. All right, so then we have grease. To grease something is to coat it with oil or butter. I might, if I'm baking, I might ask you to help me to grease the pan. So before I put my mixture of cake mix in the pan, I might need to oil it. So I will ask you to grease the surface for me. Grease the surface of the pan or pot in which you're going to cook. You may hear knead, and that's the motion of, sorry, I've moved it off, to press and stretch dough. So if you're making bread, you will knead the dough, and that's exactly the same pronunciation of this word. It's the same, knead and knead. Okay, how are we doing? Shall I have a quick look at your comments here? Please, I'd like to watch your next live lesson from the start. What time does it start? So I'm actually doing a pronunciation lesson later today at 5:40. That will only be 10 minutes. 5:40. And then tomorrow I may not be able to do a live session tomorrow because I am filming all day at YouTube. If I find a moment to come on live, then I will. But tomorrow is probably not going to be a live session. There's probably not going to be a live session. On Friday, I'm going live at 3:30. 3:30 for 10 minutes. And then at 4 o'clock on Friday, I'm doing a long grammar lesson, but that's for patrons only. So if you want to get involved in those grammar lessons, which I do each week, then you need to look at becoming a patron. And there's lots of rewards for joining the Patreon team. You just need to look in the link, at the link in the description box below. Okay, Mishari says, can we have this handout? I'm giving this handout as a reward to anyone who contributes a super chat. So if you would like to get involved with donating towards this channel, then I will gladly send you out the handout that I've written up. All right, let's carry on. So we have a few more here. We have to mix. That's quite easy. If I ask you to mix something, you will combine two or more things using a spoon, a spatula, or an electric mixer. So to mix things together. I might ask you to measure out 100 ml of oil, and this is to obtain the exact quantity, so to measure it. You may be asked to melt some butter. To melt is to make something become liquid through heating. So if you melt the butter, you heat up the butter until it becomes a liquid. Melt. And we do have to get that dark L in there. Melt, melt, melt. You may be asked to mince something, or you may have to buy mince meat, and this is to grind food. Normally used with meat. You grind it into small pieces, and often you have a mincer machine that will do this. In the UK, we just buy it ready-made, normally mincemeat, and we use mincemeat to make things like spaghetti bolognese or chili con carne. Something that I hate doing, and that's peel. I hate peeling potatoes. Peeling potatoes is not fun. And to peel is to take the skin off fruits or vegetables. So you peel an orange, you peel a banana, and you peel potatoes. When I was a child, the person who had been the most naughty, so the child that was the most naughty, was punished by being made to peel potatoes. Abid says, you didn't put your lipstick on. I have got lipstick on, it's just a different shade. I wasn't feeling red today. I don't have my red top on, I haven't got my red lips, so I went a lighter shade. Anna, you've reached 213 thumbs. Woohoo! Yeah, woo! Thanks guys, thank you so much. You know I love a thumb. Awesome, you guys are amazing, thank you so much. And someone has clicked the dislike button. Doesn't matter what I do, someone always hates me. Oh well, never mind. If you pop the butter in the sunshine, it will melt. If you pop the butter in the sunshine, it will melt. That's right. Yes, that's a good way to do it. It's a good way to do it. Eva says, peeling potatoes is a pain in the neck for almost everyone. Yeah, I'm feeling you. I don't think anyone really likes peeling potatoes. So to finish off these actions, we also have to pour. To pour is to transfer liquid from one container to another. So I would pour myself a drink. So I might say, would you like a drink? And you say, yes, please. And I go, oh, sorry, I'm busy at the moment. You can pour yourself one. So you pour yourself a drink, or I could pour something for you, or I might say, could you pour that water into the sink? Pour the water into the sink. Then we have to scramble. I might say, I would like scrambled eggs, please. Could you scramble the eggs? I've only ever really heard this used with with eggs, sorry. I've never heard it used for any other food. But this is to mix the white and the yellow part of the eggs together. So you scramble it by mixing it together while you're cooking them in a pan. So it makes a lumpy, bumpy mess that tastes delicious. To slice. If you slice something, you cut it into thin, wide portions. So for example, you would typically slice cheese. You'd slice cheese or slice a tomato into long segments. You might be asked to stir, and be aware that this R is not pronounced. We do a long vowel for the end of this word. Stir, stir. And you stir with a spoon. It's the action of turning. So you move in a circular motion, the liquid around, you stir it. So normally you have to stir a pan. You stir rice when it's cooking to make sure the rice doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. And then finally, weigh. Weigh. So I say, could you weigh that? And it's to measure the weight, to find out how heavy it is. So could you just weigh that, that mixture for me? Okay, and weigh, look how I pronounce that. Weigh, weigh. It's like a Y ending instead of a G. Weigh, weigh. No way. You weigh your food? No way. Exact same pronunciation as W-A-Y, weigh. Great. So let me have a look at comments and then we're going to do a quiz. We're going to do a quiz before we finish on British food culture. Maybe sliced bread, says Hippolito. Yes, we slice bread. So you buy bread, you buy a loaf of bread, and normally you will buy it pre-sliced. So you buy sliced bread. But if you go to the baker to buy bread and they've just baked a big loaf, they'll say, do you want it sliced or not? You say, yes, please. Sliced bread, please. Sliced loaf. Slice is also a noun, right? Yes, it is. I would say, would you like a slice? Would you like a slice? A slice of cake or a slice of quiche, if you're having quiche. I'm a boy and I don't cook. So you wouldn't say I don't cooking, you'd say I don't cook. I do cook, I don't cook. I don't cook. So what am I learning here? I mean, I don't get your lesson properly. If you don't cook, it's still important to know what all the instruments are and all the words for cooking are. Because, for example, stir, the word stir is used for many things, not just cooking. To stir something is to turn something in a circular motion. So you might have to stir the paint. You might have to stir your tea. You might have to, you might stir things up. And to stir things up it's like a phrasal verb, to stir up. It means to, if I stir things up, I bring up emotions or I create a problem with my friends. I stir things up, I create trouble. So these words are important to learn whether you are someone who cooks or not. I mean, if you don't cook, then you could say, I don't cook, I have takeaway, I eat microwave meals. So it's still important to learn. All right, I can't slice beautifully, but why I asked to give me sliced bread? I'm sorry, Kitty, I don't understand your question. My girlfriend couldn't cook, but she thought she could, and I had to cook just for surviving. Now I'm a good cook. It's cheaper and more delicious. I saw your cooking video. Good, good. Excellent. Practice makes perfect. You look shiny today. Yes, I didn't put enough powder on. It's because I got the bright light on, because a lot of people were saying it's too dark. So I brought a light down. And now I look shiny. Good. Okay, are you ready for a quiz? Should we do a quiz? Yeah, let's do a quiz. All right, so here we go. Number 1. Which of these do the British eat most of in Europe? So which of these foods do the British, out of all of Europe, what do the British eat most? Do the British eat crisps and chocolate most? Do they eat fresh fruit and vegetables most? Or do they eat sausages most? So put your answers down there. Which of these do the British eat most of in Europe? So which do you think? Hi Dima, you just joined us. Welcome. If you are just joining and you're not a subscriber, please do press that subscribe button and make sure you've pressed the big thumb button. We're going to try and push this up to 300 likes, the first time ever. Okay, so some answers coming through now. Lots of you saying C, sausages. A couple saying A, actually mostly A and C, crisps and chocolate. Well, I can tell you that the answer is crisps and chocolate. So if you said A, you are correct. The correct answer here is crisps and chocolate, which is terrible, right? It would be better if the answer was fresh fruit and vegetables. So the British, out of all of Europe, mostly eat crisps and chocolate. Naughty. Okay, so second question. What is the most popular food in Britain? Fish and chips, pizza, or curry? Now, all of these, I can tell you, are popular, but which is the most popular? Which of these foods is the most popular? in Britain today. And I have to say, I love every single one of those dishes myself. But it'd be interesting to see what you guys think. So I've got someone saying curry. Faizan is saying fish and chips. Well, I can tell you that the answer is curry. C, curry. The most popular food in Britain today is curry. We absolutely love it. And I do too. I enjoy Thai green curry. I enjoy a masala. I used to enjoy chicken tikka masala, but I don't eat chicken anymore, so I have a vegetable masala. All right, let's have a look at the next one. So we have what? Oh no, this is all split down here. Okay, oh dear. Let me see if I can pull this up one. Because I added earlier, didn't I? So here we go, that's better. What is haggis? What is haggis? Is it A, a cocktail made from whiskey and fruit juice? Is it B, a type of fish eaten in Scotland? Or is it C, a Scottish dish made from sheep's stomach and innards? If you don't know innards, innards are like your guts, if you don't know what innards means. So what is haggis? A cocktail, a type of fish, or a dish made of sheep's stomach and innards? Ugh. What do you think, guys? What is a haggis? I can tell you that I have had haggis myself. Actually tastes very, very nice. Oh, lots of comments coming through here now. Goodness me, wow, they just all came through really quickly. So lots of you saying C. Lots of you saying C, and I can tell you that most of you are correct. It is a Scottish dish made from sheep's stomach and innards. And it is actually very nice. Okay, I'm going to come back to this. So let's carry on with the quiz because it's fun. So, Stilton, Cheddar and Double Gloucester are all kinds of what? Stilton, Cheddar and Double Gloucester are all kinds of A, apple, B, pig, C, cheese. Write your answers down now. Okay, I've got a few people saying B, types of pig. I've got a few people saying C. Planet Earth is going C, 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 C. Well, I can tell you that Stilton, Cheddar and Double Gloucester are all kinds of cheese. So if you said C, then you are correct. It is a type of cheese. Well done. Let's move on. The next question, what do most British people have for breakfast? So we started talking about breakfast at the very beginning of this video. But what do most British people eat for breakfast? Obviously, I'm not typical of most British people. Or am I? Ooh, do we normally eat toast and cereal? Do most British people have cappuccino and croissant? Croissant, French word, so we say it with a French accent. Or do most British people have fried eggs and bacon? Oh, mix on this. A lot of you saying C, some of you saying A and C. Most British people eat beans on toast. I certainly do, but not for breakfast. A couple saying B. Oh, real mix. Okay, I can tell you that the answer is toast and cereal. So A, toast and cereal. Well done if you got that right. The next question, who invented the sandwich and why? Is it A, the Earl of Sandwich? He wanted food which he could eat with just one hand while gambling. Is it B, Lord Sandwich? He wanted food which he could take for a picnic in the countryside. Oh, let me take that back there. Or is it C, Queen Elizabeth I? She wanted food which could be prepared quickly for the guests. So that might be a more tricky one, actually. So which one do you think it is? Kind of most of the answers are C. So you're guessing C, are you, Ban? Or Ban? I'm not sure how you pronounce your name. But which one are you going for? A couple of C's, a couple of A's. All of these three sound delicious, making my mouth water. Kim Thomas thinks it's Lord sandwich. B, 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 B. Okay, well, I can tell you that the answer is A. It was the Earl of Sandwich created the sandwich. He created this new form of meal that we eat regularly. And he created it because he wanted food which he could eat with one hand while gambling. Interesting. All right, let's move on. What is a kebab? Is it a type of pub? Is it Turkish fast food, or is it a hot drink? I have a feeling that this one will be easy for most of you, and we did mention it earlier as well. So what is a kebab? Okay, and the answer is Turkish fast food. Turkish fast food. So we have a lot of kebabs here in the UK, particularly after a night out. If a group of friends has gone on a night out, they've had a few drinks, you can almost guarantee that someone in the group of friends will want to get a kebab on the way home. It's kind of like a tradition. You go out, you have a few beers, on the way home you pick up a kebab and you eat a kebab on the way home or once you get home. So we do enjoy our kebabs here. Okay, so the next question. Which of the following ingredients would not be a possible ingredient of a British pudding? So what is a British pudding? And what could we not possibly have in a pudding? Is it A, pig's blood? Would you cook pudding with pig's blood? Is it B, chocolate? I mean, would you have chocolate in a pudding? Is it C, lettuce? Do you put lettuce in pudding? Which one do you think is the answer? Some of you are saying pudding, question mark. Interesting, we didn't cover pudding, did we? So this kind of will be decided on whether or not you know what pudding is. Well, I can tell you that a pudding is typically a sweet dish that you have at the end of a meal, or it can be something made with suet. And we would not have lettuce in a pudding because it's also usually a cooked thing or a sweet thing, so lettuce would not work. So the answer is lettuce. Well done if you got that one right. Next question. Which of these do you find in a pub in Britain? Which of these do you find in a pub in Britain? A, lager, B, cider, or C, bitter? Which of these do you find in a pub in Britain? Interesting. I wonder what answers we're going to get for this one. I think I found this a bit confusing when I read it too. Anybody know the answer? Well, I can tell you that this is a trick question because actually you will have lager, cider, and bitter in a pub. So these are all types of alcoholic drinks that you would find in a pub. So that was a trick question. So sorry if that one caught you out. But if you've ever been to a pub in Britain, you will know that lager, cider, and bitter are all drinks you would find in every pub. I think if a pub didn't sell one of these drinks, then they're not worthy of being called a pub and it's probably not doing very well. All right, so carrying on, we're nearly at the end of the quiz. What is a chicken tikka masala? Is it a type of salad? Is it a type of Chinese food? Or is it a curry? So what is chicken tikka masala? If you were paying attention earlier in the lesson, then you'll know I said that I really used to enjoy this particular dish. Very much so, but I can't eat it anymore because I'm a vegetarian. So what is a chicken tikka masala? Most of you have it right. That's right, it's a curry. Fantastic. Next question. How many vegetarians are there in the UK today? How many vegetarians are there in the UK today? So a vegetarian is somebody who doesn't eat meat or fish. A strict vegetarian doesn't eat meat or fish. So how many in the UK? Anybody? I'm a vegetarian. I'm one of them. But am I one of 3 to 4,000? Am I one of 300 to 400,000? Or am I one of 3 to 4 million people in the UK who's a vegetarian? I can tell you that the answer is 3 to 4 million. Okay, next question. Where do people eat deep fried chocolate bars? So you remember earlier I said that to fry something is to cook it in oil. And if you deep fry it, it's a deep pot with oil in, and you put things deep into the oil so it's surrounded by oil and you cook it that way. So some people in the UK will put chocolate bars into a deep fry and fry chocolate bars. Who does that? Is it the people of Scotland? Is it people in Japan? Is it people in Wales? Put your answers down now. Who do you think fries chocolate bars? Well, I have tried this. I had a deep fried Mars bar and I can tell you, it was delicious. It was absolutely delicious. And I had it in Scotland. So it's the Scottish who typically deep fry their chocolate bars. And yes, it might sound strange, but it's a very, very tasty treat. And just looking at your comments, one of you is saying, who was it? Mayak says, Anna, could you please share the sheet with me, with us? I'm holding the sheet to give as a reward to anyone who donates towards the channel. What I'm trying to do is raise some money to get a proper microphone so that I can broadcast to you without any sound issues and have a better quality broadcast for everybody. But I can't afford to do that. So anyone who donates, that will go towards making these lessons better for everybody. And as a reward for your donation, then I am giving away these lesson notes. So if you would like these notes sent over to you, then all I ask in return is for a small super chat. Super chat can be achieved by hitting the $ next to the emoji. It doesn't matter how much you donate. It could be just $1. And in return, you'll have my gratitude. And of course, it will help to make these lessons better. And I will send you the notes for this particular lesson. All right. So if you do send a super chat, I'm going to be going offline very shortly, so you have to do it soon. And you must put your email address in the comments box as you comment so that I know who to send it to. Okay, let's carry on with the quiz. We're nearly at the end. So when are toffee apples eaten in the UK? When are toffee apples eaten in the UK? Are they eaten at Christmas? Are they traditional for Halloween? Or is it tradition to have toffee apples at Easter? If you don't know what a toffee apple is, it's an apple covered in hard toffee. So it's crunchy on the outside, soft and sweet on the inside. In fact, it's all sweet, but it's very hard on the outside because the toffee goes hard, and obviously the apple is nice and soft. So when are toffee apples eaten? Well, they're eaten at Halloween. So toffee apples are traditional for Halloween. Okay, how many questions? 2 more. So what is the common difference between these things? What is the common difference between chips and French fries, crisps and chips, fizzy drinks and soda? So I'm actually looking for a description here. So the answer needs to be written. Tell me, what is the common difference between all of these things? So this isn't multiple choice. In fact, I probably shouldn't have put these. That's confusing. Ooh, this way. No, that way. And so what's the common difference between chips and French fries, crisps and chips, fizzy drinks and soda? Anybody know the answer to this one? Anybody at all? And while I'm just waiting for you to see if you can figure out what the common difference is between all those pairs, I'm just going to check how many thumbs we've got. How many thumbs do we now have? 240. 241. Fabulous. 241. Oh goodness, and we're getting very close to that 30,000 subscriber mark. Will we reach 30,000 subscribers by the end of the day? I need about 150 subscribes in order to do that. So if you're watching and you're not already a subscriber, please do press that subscribe button and help us to get to 30,000. That would be awesome. An awesome way to finish the day. So the common difference, a couple of you have given the right answer. Some of you do know this. The common difference is one is American and one is British English. So British English, chips, crisps and fizzy drinks. Chips are hot, but Americans call them French fries. Crisps are a snack, but Americans call them chips. And a fizzy drink, obviously, is a drink that's fizzy, like Coca-Cola, but Americans call it soda. So we have chips, French fries, crisps, chips, fizzy drinks, and soda. So there we go. Oh, one more, last one. When did the first curry house open in Britain? And a curry house is a a restaurant that sells curry. So when did the first curry house open in Britain? Was it 1809? Was it 1919? Or was it 1969? What do you think is the answer? When did we open the first curry house? You know that curry is our favourite food, but when did we first open a restaurant in the UK dedicated to curry? I'm getting hungry now. Well, a mix from you guys with the answers. I can tell you that the answer is 1809. So long ago. So we've had a love affair for a very long time with curry. We absolutely love it. So well done if you got most of those right. Did you keep a tab on it? How many did you get? How many did you get right? Did anybody get more than 10? I think if you got more than 10, then amazing. I give you a thumbs up. If I can thumb you up, I give you a thumb. So well done. Did anyone get 15? Did anyone get all of them right? Okay, let's just do the final little bit, which is to look at some of the utensils that you might use, and then I'm going to wrap up. And I will need to finish very shortly, so 5 minutes and I'll have to be done because I have a student. To teach in a very short space of time. So here we go. Let's have a look at some utensils. So some utensils that you might need to be aware of in the UK. We have a potato peeler. And this is, remember we said peel is to remove the skin. So you have a peeler. This here is listed as vegetable peeler, but we would just call it a peeler or a potato peeler perhaps. Do you have a peeler? Do you have a potato peeler? I talked about a grater for grating cheese. This is the particular grater. We don't tend to say box grater. That's technically what it is, but we say grater. And you might also have a small grater for grating things like lemon zest, the skin off a lemon. A garlic press. Do you remember I talked about crushing a garlic? Well, and I talked about the tool that you use to crush the garlic out of the other side. Well, you use a garlic press, and that's what it looks like. If you want to get the juice out of a lemon or something similar, then you would use a juicer. Very handy. Saves you getting juice in your eye. I've done that before. You cut a lemon in half and you're squeezing it, and then it squirts up in your eye and you're like, ah! And it just, terrible, blinds you. So you use a juicer instead. It's much more practical. If you need to time anything, then you would use a timer. I just use the timer on my phone, but you time with a timer. Oh, here's something, masher, a potato masher, to mash up your potatoes to make them nice and smooth. I don't really talk about this in my day-to-day life, I guess because I don't make pastries, but that is a pastry scraper. But I wouldn't have known that otherwise. A thermometer you might have typically in your kitchen to test the temperature of meat if you're cooking meat. You definitely need mixing bowls in a kitchen. If you're cooking most dishes, you'll need to mix some stuff up, mix some ingredients together. Prep bowls. Yeah, I don't really talk about those. I think they're for professional chefs. Oh, a strainer. So you would need a strainer if you're boiling anything. If you're baking, you'd need a strainer. Sometimes it's known as a sieve. A sieve. And you put flour and things through a sieve to stop all the lumps from coming through. One of Emin said a sifter. Yeah, a sifter is also a word we can use for that. Callie says, all you really need to know is menu number 1 at McDonald's. Callie! Oh, you shouldn't eat too many McDonald's. You should get home and cook some healthy food. Okay, so then you have a colander. Colander. Let's just do that pronunciation. A colander. Colander. I use colanders all the time because I cook pasta a lot, so I need to drain the water off. So I put it through a colander. And then we have some chopping boards. Sometimes we call them cutting boards. I call it a chopping board for chopping on. You can have plastic ones or wooden ones. I have wooden chopping boards. If you're mixing things together, you'll need a whisk. I never say balloon whisk. I just say whisk. Whisk. The H is silent. Whisk. Again, if you are baking, I used a spatula this weekend when I was baking my cake. I used the spatula to put the icing on top. A spatula. I don't say silicone. That's just the material. I just say spatula. No kitchen is complete without a set of tongues. Tongues. Pronunciation is tongue. Tongues. Tongues. Could you pass me the tongues, please? It's for grabbing things. And then we have, if you're making soup or a stew, you will need a ladle. 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 Then these things, I don't call them a slotted spoon. I just call them a spoon. A spoon with holes in, I normally call it. So a ladle and a spoon. A metal spoon or a serving spoon to serve up vegetables. A wooden spoon. And a spatula. 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 Oh dear, I think I need to get my housemate some cough medicine. Okay, and then we have a rolling pin. If you're going to be baking, you might need, or making pasta or anything like that, you'll need a rolling pin. Sometimes they're good for hitting people. Not that hitting people is a good thing, but if you need a rolling pin as self-defense, then it's a good tool to have. Here is another type of tongues. And then you might have an ice cream scoop, and a cake server for serving out those lovely slices of cake. And that brings us to the end of our lesson. So guys, thank you very much for joining me here and being so amazing. I'm just going to have a look at your comments here. Some of you saying it's blurring. Sorry about that if it was blurring. Jana says, is it colander or calendar? Calendar is different. So calendar is, you have a calendar to keep track of the date in the month. So a calendar has all the months of the year, January through to December. And a colander, colander is the tool you use in the kitchen. Calendar for the date, colander, co. If you're just tuning in now, you're like, what is this girl doing? Ko. This isn't English. So Caddy says, I received my first rubber spatula from my English friend. Amazing. Mashari says, tongues are like forceps. Yes, very much. But forceps are tongues used in a medical scenario. So you use forceps is a medical thing. Tongues in the kitchen. You wouldn't ask for forceps in the kitchen. That would be strange. What's the difference between a strainer and a colander? I don't think there is a difference, to be honest. Obviously there's a difference in the size of holes, but for me it's all the same thing. It does the same job. When I was a student, we used a bottle of beer as a potato masher. So you'd get your potatoes and you'd squash it with beer, with a beer bottle. Amazing. Amazing. That's ingenious. Good idea. Hi Anna, what's the difference between a boiled and a poached egg? A boiled egg is an egg boiled in hot water with the shell on. So you don't take off the shell. You boil it in its shell in the water. A poached egg, you remove it from the shell, you break it very gently into boiling water, and the egg boils in the water without the shell. So that's a poached egg. In the shell is a boiled egg. Hello, the pic's a bit blurry. Yeah, sorry about that. If the pic was a bit blurry, it's because I made it big so that you could see it, but by making it big, it pixelated. But hopefully you still got the point. I always bruise my hand while I'm grating cheese, so I particularly hate this chore. Oh, yeah, me too, Eva. But I grate cheese every day because I like grated cheese. But yeah, I feel your pain. Is a mold a tool used to make desserts? Yes, Appolito. So if you're making jelly, for example, then you might put the jelly into a mold. Maybe it's the mold of a face. And you put the jelly into the mold and it sets in that shape. So a mold is a shape type rubber thing, and you set things in the mold, and then when it dries, it's that shape. It takes that shape of the mold. My auntie sometimes uses a glass bottle as a rolling pin. Amazing, amazing, inventive, creative. I love it. Mishari says, you're fabulous, Anna. Thank you so much. You're fabulous too. You stuck with me for the whole hour and a half. It's amazing. All right, guys, well, it's getting time for me to go and teach my private students, so I want to say a huge thank you for everyone who has joined me. Thank you if you've contributed and helped to make this lesson a wonderful experience for everybody involved. Thank you to Kim Thomas for your super chat. That donation will go into the savings pot, and when I have enough money, I will buy a new microphone so that you have a much better sound experience. Thank you to all of my patrons as well, who support this channel overall. I can't do it without you. And also, don't forget about those italki credits. So if you do want private lessons and you want affordable lessons, I promise you that it's a really great website and a really good offer. Get your $10 credit by using the link below, and let me know how you get on. Let me know your experience. Don't forget, I am doing daily videos for pronunciation on Instagram every day. That's what daily means. So come and join me on Instagram if you haven't already. And I'm also on Facebook. And if you don't know when I'm going live, Facebook and Instagram are the best places to be because I'll always announce it there. I will be live again in about 2 hours. No, in about an hour. I'll be live again in an hour for the 10-minute pronunciation class, so do remember to join me then. If you're not a subscriber, press the subscribe button right now, and if you haven't, give me a thumb, only a thumb up, then give me a thumb, and take care of yourself. Lots of love from London. You've been amazing. Mwah. See you soon. Goodbye.